Alright, so I'm going to give it to you bluntly. I think that of every Yu-Gi-Oh game I've ever played, I think Crossduel probably has the most amount of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are just now playable or just outright suck. So, I'm here on Konami's behalf, volunteering my time for free to fix this game. There are a lot of cards I think just suck, and I think just with just a few minor tweaks can be playable. They don't have to be like broken. They don't got to be amazing. They just got to be playable and usable, and maybe a little bit flexible. Okay. First on the list, let me see. Exodia's fine. Dark Magician's fine. Blue Eyes is fine. Neil's fine. Some say it's super broken. I might have to nerf that. But first on the list, first is the UR. We got Ojama King. Nobody plays Ojamas. Okay. I've only ever seen someone summon an Ojama maybe one time ever. I'm also going to talk about the, not just Ojama King, but the other Ojamas later. Let's see. Special skill is a select one monster. Select one of your opponent's monster zones. Just a single monster zone. No monsters can be summoned there till the end of the turn. Obviously, we can't change this to be permanent because that is just busted in Crossduel. But what I think this should be, special skill, is just select one opponent. The special skill should be select one opponent and all of their monster zones cannot be used. And then this master skill will be all your opponents cannot use their monster zones for one turn. I think that's, it might sound pretty busted, but it's only for the end of the turn. And people who are playing Ojama decks, their decks aren't going to be the most offensive anyway. At most, this will just give them one turn to mount an offensive against everybody. Like, you need three level 2 or 3 level 2 beasts or whatever to make this. 3 beasts. So, it costs a lot to make this guy. I know there's a lot of Ojama fans, and it sucks that they can't use one of their favorite decks because it just sucks. I think changing Ojama King to that will help him out. Bloom Diva. I think just change her master skill to make it so that in addition to defense, they also gain half as many to the attack. So ignore the 100 more life point gained. Make it so, like, give this deck some sort of an offense. So in addition to the defense, half of that will also go to the attack. So that way, it's not too busted, and this deck could mount some sort of an offense. Up next, we got Multistrike. I think Multistrike is just flat. It's when I think of URs, when I think of ace monsters, I think they should be good, not just as an ace. If a monster is good enough to be considered an ace, I think it should be good enough to be also as backup and support. So this special skill is just really bad. While it's on the field, all your monsters gain 1 extra attack. I think the special skill should be changed to while on the field or when summoned, all your monsters gain extra attack and pierce. So that way the extra attack can also so it can be playable, so it can be actually usable. Like, giving your monster just an extra attack is not good enough. Like, it needs something more to actually let the extra attack resolve. Like, give it a 100, 200, 300 attack boost, pierce, attack debuff something, defense debuff. That's probably a good one too. And then change this so that you just give it more stacks while it's on the field or when it's summoned. Give all your monsters 2 stacks of extra attack and pierce. I think honestly just that alone is pretty nasty for the Multistrike. Man, come on, this guy's called Multistrike, bro, and he ain't getting no multiple nothings. Up next, we got Blackluster Soldier. I feel like Blackluster Soldier should be good enough that people want to use it as their ace. Like, if someone wants to build a Blackluster Soldier deck, I think it should be totally viable. This is a pretty iconic card, and it just sucks. Like, his skills aren't good enough to, like, sometimes last a turn. I've tested this guy out before. He barely survives more than 2 turns. he can only deal with one monster at a time. If he attacks 2 monsters, like, there's a good chance the next monster he fights is going to kill him. He needs, like, help. He needs some milk, bro. I think this skill should be changed to, like, the same way they did with Utopia. Now, I know it's not fair comparing him to Utopia, because Utopia is a UR. But, obviously not as strong as Utopia. But, just give him maybe 2 stacks of attack supplement or 2 stacks of attack buff. Just give him a little more. Like, it's only 1 and 1. I know Seal is really good, but, like, you have to waste so much. You have to waste 3 monsters just for this guy, when other monsters just require 2. Up next, we got Elemental Hero Flame Wingman. This guy is pretty cool and another iconic monster as well. I think just giving your monsters Crusher is not good enough. What this guy needs is, while on the field, all your monsters gain Crusher and maybe, like, an attack buff. Or maybe 2 stacks of Crusher. Because just giving your monsters Crusher, like, it doesn't help them do nothing. Like, they still have to... It's not giving them any extra oomph to go out and resolve the Crusher effect. They need, like, maybe, while on the field, all your monsters gain Crusher and 200 attack. 100 extra attack. 300 extra attack. 2 stacks of Crusher. Anything. Just giving them 1 stack of Crusher doesn't do anything. And look at his stats. It's only 2100, 1200 defense. Switch the guy to defense and he's getting killed easy. Plus, it takes 2 monsters to make this guy. He's not a single tribute. In order to use this skill, you gotta sacrifice 2 monsters, 2 warrior monsters. And that's such a big cost for such a crappy skill. It would be pretty awesome if he gives all your monsters Crusher plus a little something else. Most likely just an attack buff, Pierce, attack debuff, defense debuff. Most likely, yeah, defense debuff I think is really good. He gives all your monsters defense debuff and Crusher. I think that would be pretty cool. Up next, we got Archery and Eccentric. Archery and Eccentric is a hit and miss. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. It's a bit of 50-50. I think it should go from, when summoned, the opponent in the lane cannot activate traps, to when summoned, nobody can activate traps. It could be either all your opponents or every player can activate traps. This card's just not seeing much play. I tried it out. It was a hit or miss. Sometimes there'd be a trap on the field for like 2 turns, and then I'm like, okay, I finally drew this card. I can finally do something. Trap card already resolved. Trap card got popped. It's just Archery and Eccentric is just not good enough. It needs to be that when summoned, all your opponents can activate traps just for 1 turn. And I think this card will be seeing much more play. Oh yeah, as I was saying, all the Ojamas. I think every single Ojama needs defense support. Ojama is a defense-based deck, and the fact that only Ojama Yellow has it is pretty weird. Like, this guy has attack support. I don't even know why he has that. This guy has neither. He has a defense supplement. Okay. He only has 1,000 defense. That's not going to do anything. So, this guy's Provoke? Why does he have Provoke? Anyways. Yeah, I think every Ojama needs defense supplement. When summoned, give all your monsters 200 defense. That's it. Make them more viable. Restructer Revolution. This card is so random. It doesn't do what burn players want to do. Now, I hate burn decks, but if you're going to make cards to support them, they need to do their job. Select 1 player with the most cards and inflict 600. It's random. It shouldn't be random. It should just be either select 1 player, they lose 600, or every player who has more than, I don't know, 1 or 2 cards in their hand take 600. Like, I hate cards that are like random. Unless it's a card like Warrior Returning Alive, which selects monsters in your graveyard to add to your hand. Like, that's okay if it's random. But like, when it comes to the way you should play your deck and the strategies, your strategies shouldn't be random. Like, get the randomness out of the game. Unless it's, for example, like I just said, the Warrior Returning Alive. So yeah, change this to either all players lose 600, including yourself. You can even do it that. I think even that is cool, like a good effect. Every single player, including yourself, loses 600. That is one. Or every player with more than 2 cards in their hand lose 600. Yeah, it's like no one's playing this card. Not even Bird decks. Bird decks don't even play this card. I've only seen it one time ever. Next is Fairy Meteor Crush. We already have a normal card that gives Pierce permanently. This card does not give Pierce permanently, which is so weird. I don't know why. Like, yeah, this card gives a 400 attack boost, which is not big, by the way. The Pierce only lasts for a turn, which is weird. Just make it permanent. That's it. It's not busted. It's really good, yes, but not busted. Considering there's already a normal card in the game that does it. Just not with the attack boost. So Fairy Meteor Crush definitely needs support above. And the next card is literally a card that just entered the game, and that's Mystical Wind Typhoon. We already got cards like Trap Dust Shoot and Giant Trunade that enter the game that literally do the same thing. This one's a super rare. It doesn't do enough to be considered a super rare. This card should be a rare. Choose one lane ahead that has 2 or more monsters. And return the monster with the lowest attack back to the hand. There's still a monster attacking you. It doesn't even negate. I think all this card should be changed to is the card that gets bounced. Negate it. Negate its skills. Like, all it says is the monster with the lowest attack. So there could be a Blue Eyes. There could be a Blue Eyes with like 1,000 attack left. And an Ancient Gearfried with 1,800 attack. And then Mystical Wind bounces the Blue Eyes back. Like, that's so bad. Like, it should like negate the effect. Maybe half the attack for the monster. Something. Make it so they can't summon that specific monster for another turn. Because this card should not be a SR. I mean, yeah, an SR. It's trash for an SR. There's also Genie's Fire Breath. Select one trap, return to the hand. As I was saying with the last card we just looked at, make it so that the opponent cannot activate that trap card the next turn. It's got to wait another turn. The opponent has to wait another turn for them to activate that trap card. This card, no one uses this card. This card sucks. Like, why is there a card in the game that like no one touches? That shouldn't be a thing in card games. So this card definitely needs a buff. Last card on my list is Lightforce Sword. At the end of the battle phase, other players' monsters cannot summon their ace monster until the end of the next turn. You can only have one copy of cards in your deck. So sometimes, by the time you even see this card, people have already summoned their ace. So I think Neos you see immediately. So I think this card should be keep the effect, but also add an additional effect to where if there is an ace monster on the field, bounce it. It doesn't need to negate their effects because that would be pretty busted for a rare. But just make it so that other players cannot summon their ace monster until the end of the next turn. And if there is an ace on the field, send that shit back to the opponent's hand. And I think this card would be more playable. Hey, it's your boy City Boy. If you liked that video, consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and sharing the video to all your friends and family. Help me and Panda make it out of the hood. We also have other ways you can support us. We got a Patreon. I got my Twitch channel where I stream every day. There's my TikToks. I got my Instagram, Twitter, and as well as another YouTube channel. Thanks.